What's up, guys? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of Ready to Love. This is season 8, episode 13, and you guys, we are back for the reunion. So let's jump right into part 1. First things first, you guys, I feel like there was way too many video montages at the beginning of this damn episode. I'm like, why are we looking over the season? Then you're going to give us another montage of Tommy's curveballs and Tommy's choice. I'm just like, when you gonna start having these conversations with the people, okay? Nonetheless, after these video montages or whatever, they talk about how Chris and Kat were curveballs. All I know is that for next season, there needs to be no more curveballs, especially not people. People don't need to be a curveball. I think that if you're going to start with 10 men and 10 women, just start with that. Because it's unfair to the people who are coming in. Because I feel like it starts unnecessary drama, especially amongst the women, because they're sizing that woman up. And then as far as if you're a guy, they seem to be a little bit more chill on that side. However, the annoying thing about coming in as a wild card is that you have to meet each person individually on dates, and then you're telling them about yourself. However, all the other men that they've met, they've already passed that stage because they did all of that in the mixer. So I feel like every time we saw Chris, for example, he's telling these women about him and his life, and they're not interested because it sounds like all the stuff that they just heard these other men say at the mixer. That's not what they want to hear when they go on a date with you. Like, I'm not sure if I'm saying this correctly, but if you understand what I'm saying, let me know in the comments. I just feel like we don't need to have any more curveballs. However, as far as the Tommy's choice thing, I did not mind him setting people up on dates or whatever. That wasn't too bad. But we can absolutely get rid of the curveballs that are bringing in new people. Now, I will say I did like the fact that Kat was honest. It was like she didn't like being a curveball because she felt like she was late to the party. And girl, you absolutely was, because you had to grasp at straws this entire season trying to chase down a connection. But nonetheless, you guys, we get a whole montage of Kat. So you guys, we actually saw a video clip of something that was never before seen, and that was Maurier telling her that he was going to choose Jessica in the end, right? And I mean, baby girl was all dolled up and everything, so it was clear that she thought that it could have possibly been her. However, baby girl starts to cry and all types of things, but I feel like she wasn't crying over Maurier. It was more so over her sick animal. I don't know if she had a dog or a cat, one or the other. Let's be honest. I feel like Kat and Maurier could have possibly had a stronger connection had she come in the first day like everybody else. Because now that I'm looking at the entire, show as a whole, I definitely feel like she would have given a couple of the girls a run for their money as far as who these guys were interested in. I just feel like she came in so late, and then of course production is the one who's setting the dates up. So you may meet up with Chris on one date, which is what we saw, and then we didn't see her talk to this man again until we got to the weekend getaway. Like, they never did a follow-up date with them, which was strange. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about that. All right, so as we are watching this, you guys, Tommy ends up asking her, how did her connections go from Phil and Herbert to Maurier? And I'm just like, because you had this girl grasping at straws. You never set her up on multiple dates with the same person. And yeah, baby girl came in too late. Now, when Maurier said that he definitely felt like him and Kat would have had a better connection had she come in at the same time as everybody else, I absolutely believe that he feels that way. Now, did y'all catch Jessica in the background giving a side eye or whatever because Maurier was being honest in that moment? I'm just like, Jessica, it's not like you really wanted Maurier to begin with anyways. Like, I feel like Jessica settled with Maurier just to make it to the end of the show. But we're going to talk about them a little bit later. Now, when it comes to Quentin, Tommy asks, like, I thought that y'all were going to really connect, but y'all just never seem to hit it off. And Q was like, it's because she got here late. And I'm like, yeah, Tommy, y'all screwed it up yet again. However, Kat lets us know that it got to the point where he basically stopped talking to everybody, okay? Not even on, like, just, like, being friends, okay? Not on no let's date. Just to be friends and be cordial with people. He was just booed up and wrapped up in Janelle. She didn't say her name, but we all know what it is. And he agrees to that. He says, yeah, that's what it was. But I would be doing you a disservice if I'm sitting there smiling in your face, you know what I'm saying? And I know there's no chance that I'm about to date you. And I was like, you know what? I can't even knock this man because honestly, I would rather see someone on a show called Ready to Love actually be locked in with a person as we go through this process instead of people grasping at straws. I'm sorry. Like, as much as people like to talk about how Janelle and Q were, it reminds me of how everybody used to talk about Camille and Cornelius. I can't be mad at people locking in because that was the whole point of the show. But I digress. Now, one thing that I do want to point out is the fact that Janelle is, oh my gosh, rolling her eyes backstage, has all types of attitude because this is Kat's segment. Now, I know that they did get into it on the internet and on social media, but I'm just like, okay, what is the real issue here? Because at the end of the day, Q still chose you, Janelle. So what is there to have an issue about? Like, she didn't take your man. What's the problem? Y'all don't have to deal with each other. Like, stop rolling your eyes and catching an attitude backstage. All right, y'all, let's move on to this next scene. And of course, we have to talk about the drama between Red and Unique. Oh, God. Here's the thing. I just don't like seeing Red on my screen because, number one, that man is not attractive. It's giving light-skinned Ninja Turtle, and I can't take it. I want no parts of it. Nonetheless, we have this segment where he feels like, she said something about me, so I had to keep it going. Sir, you're a full-grown man. You're 40 plus. You don't need to keep anything going. If you were offended, all you had to say was, you know what? I don't respect what you just said about my career. And you just kept it moving. You did not have to be with Unique. You didn't have to be around her. You could have moved on to any other lady. However, you wanted to keep egging this on because I guess you felt like it gave you more shine or something. But either way, it didn't. And then as far as Unique goes, I feel like she did a great job describing what a thought job is. However, I wish that she would have told Tommy, yes, you have a thought job. You are a radio personality and you are a comedian. Absolute thought job, sir. So then they have this back and forth between Unique and Red. And I just wanted both of them off the stage at this point. Because I'm just like, okay, they didn't get along. We can move on as well. However, it got to the point where Unique was like, oh, I got some tea about him. And then she didn't want to say what it was, but she heard it. But, he was DMing her about it. Girl, just say whatever it is. Because we're tired. We want both of y'all off of our screen right now. So say what you want to say or shut up about it. Come to find out, it was basically that he is not that great of a parent to his kids. I'm pretty sure half the people on here who have kids have that same sentiment. Girl, goodbye. Like, I feel like you're not even interested in him. Nobody else was, so why even bring that up? We could absolutely just move the hell on. I'm like, Tommy, why are you letting this go so long? Oh, right, it's because this season had nothing else to talk about. Now, y'all, Tommy asked this man, is he seeing anybody, right? Now, Red goes on to say how, he's been on a few dates or whatever, and he's still connected with a few people from the cast. He mentions Kira, who we know went home by herself. And then he also mentions Janelle. And Q is sitting right next to her, and he, makes this facial expression like, what is this dude talking about? And I'm just like, I wonder if Janelle and Q are still together. Because it's looking like no for me. Because the way he was shocked, it was giving, was she talking to him at the same time she was still talking to me? That's the vibe that I got. I don't feel like they're going to still be together. But let's jump on over to Jessica and Marie. First things first, their outfits not coordinated at all. And I mean at all. Baby girl has on a fuchsia pink dress. Now I will say the dress, it looks good on her skin tone. However, it's doing a lot. It's real poofy. And he has on like this orange sports coat. I said, okay, no coordination at all. These people cannot be together. Also, I hated her hair. All right, y'all. So in the montage that they did of Jessica and Marie, there was a never before seen clip where she talks about how she does want children. And, every year that goes by, she drops off the number of kids that she wants, but she definitely wants 2 kids. 2 kids. He has 1 child that we know of. You guys, her saying that, it really let me know how unequally yoked these 2 people were. Because at the end of the day, this man really don't want no more kids. It sounded like he didn't want the one that he had. So I'm just like, why in the world did y'all choose each other? Because this makes no sense when he doesn't even want kids, but you want 2. That ain't gonna work. The same way you don't see yourself moving to Africa, the same way that you don't see yourself doing the tarot cards. Like, I just don't see how this could be a possibility. Like, how did these 2 choose each other? And I know that there was somebody in my comments that was like, oh, you're questioning how Marie had 2 options because of his weight. Nope, this has nothing to do with his weight. When we first met Marie, I thought he was going to go home because a lot of people felt like he wasn't ready for this process. Number 1. Number 2, I feel like, again, there are certain things that Marie has been saying that when the girls respond to it, for some reason, they basically say that they don't agree with what he's saying, but then they're still choosing him. Like, it's not making sense. For example, the whole religion thing, that's a problem. The fact that he wants to live in a different continent, that's a problem. This man don't want kids. Why are the ladies choosing him if they don't agree with the lifestyle that he has? Now back to Jessica and Marie. Y'all, did these 2 ever kiss? I feel like we never saw them kiss each other, which is weird considering they chose each other. Now, y'all, then we get to them talking to Tommy. When Tommy asked this girl what made him separate himself, from the competition, she drew a blank. She had nothing to say. And then Tommy had to, hand out another question to follow up. And Tommy is like, what made you choose this man? Okay? What's going on here? And her response was like, well, I mean, I only had 1 connection at the end. Since the getaway, I only had 1 connection. Girl, that is not a reason to choose that man. Especially if y'all lifestyles and values don't even align. That sounds stupid. Then, keep in mind, y'all, this entire time while she's talking, Mario is over there fumbling with his shoes. He just tapping his foot, I guess checking to see if the shoes are tied. I don't know what is going on, but you can tell that there is a clear disconnect. So then Tommy ends up asking Mario about his experience. And he basically talks about how he gave every lady a shot, which he did, and nobody could take Jessica's place. What? Like, I'm sorry, y'all. These 2 are playing. They clearly have an agreement that they were going to make it to the end, and then they was going to front on us like they still together. Tommy asks them if they are together, and they're like, yeah, we're getting to know each other. These people are not together. Not at all. All right, y'all. So now we got to get to Mr. Habibi. Lord Jesus, help us. Because this man is a hot mess. Okay, first of all, when he was actually on the show and they had his little montage playing, y'all, I can't even lie. I laughed a lot of times because this man was so nonchalant, matter of fact about everything that he said. I couldn't even be mad. Because, like, the way he was just, like, saying what it was, like, yeah, I just find a woman wherever I'm at. Like, this is not what you want to hear if you are dating anybody or if you're trying to get to know somebody. These are absolutely things that you are not trying to hear. However, besides the fact that Habibi has picked on an entire different culture and how they dress and act, well, not even how they act, just how they dress, his blunt behavior is hilarious. I cannot lie. And on top of that, he was definitely being his honest, true self in every aspect, literally. Now, y'all, I'm watching the show, right? And Tommy is going on about how this man has said some horrible things to these ladies. And he absolutely has. Now, as far as what he did to Janelle, absolutely out of line. I thought that there would have been a different type of repercussion for that. Because, number one, you completely disrespected her. That was technically sexual misconduct. I'm sorry, not misconduct. That was technically sexual harassment. And Tommy, you should have dug into him for that. Because the way that you were so upset in the lounge, you should have been that upset right now when you were in that man's face. Like, it shouldn't have been no, what's your explanation? Ain't no explanation. Sir, you were completely out of line. We do not tolerate that on this network. Like, honestly, Habibi didn't even have to show up. Why was he here? And then, did y'all peep that he was holding Kiara's hand while he was up there speaking? Did y'all peep that? I said, why are you holding Kiara's hand? So here's the thing. Sierra chimes in after this man has done this, I guess you could call it an apology. Not really. I wouldn't really call it that. He just said, I'm sorry if I offended y'all. But Sierra's like, I'm a jokester. We just really wanted an apology, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing, Sierra. When he said that about your mama, I really think he was joking. Like, that was pretty funny when he said it to me. At least when I heard it, I laughed. You know what I'm saying? But she took complete offense. Like, don't say nothing about her mama. Girl, I get it, but, like, yours could have been brought down a few notches. As far as that Janelle situation, that's totally different. Then this took a turn because for some reason, after Sierra says, my mom is near and dear to my heart, like, I love my mom, blah, blah, blah. Here comes Habibi talking about some, a lot of parents, they just be putting a lot of stuff on their kids or whatever he said. Sir, what are you talking about? Like, Habibi was not serious about this situation. Or not the situation, about this show, I should say. He was not serious about this show. It's quite clear at this point, and I just want Habibi to get off of the stage. Like, please, sir, get away from us with this. Oh, but it gets worse. I have no idea how we got to the point of crawfish being his first word. Like, what was happening here? Tommy's like, we just want you to take some accountability. And here comes Janelle. She's just like, why are we even doing this with him? She's over it. It's very clear. Y'all, the fact that Habibi and Janelle went back and forth and back, I cannot. I'm just like, Tommy, you not going to jump in and say nothing so that we can wrap this on up? Because Janelle is saying that this man is completely out of line. He's not taking accountability. Hell, he's not even taking y'all serious right now. And he's just going along with it, okay? Saying whatever that comes to the top of the dome. Honestly, in that moment, I can understand how Janelle's blood pressure could get raised because Habibi was just, being Habibi. But then I realized I know exactly who Habibi is. And I realized Habibi is just a hood nigga that learned how to play like the saxophone when he was in band in like middle school. And him playing the saxophone is the only thing that he ever had going for himself. So I just feel like This is a typical hood nigga that they have let on TV. And then on top of all of this foolishness, y'all, why is Kiera jumping in talking about he did apologize, because Janelle was saying that he didn't apologize. The thing is, she wanted to hear something that was actually sincere, not what he said. And Kiera, why are you commenting? Like, do you have a thing for Habibi? What's going on right now? And if you do, that would make all the sense for me. Y'all, if Kiera was into Habibi, that would make so much sense. Especially with her being completely whitewashed. And yes, I'm using the phrase whitewash because this is the same woman who said that she's the whitest woman there. So of course, she would be into the guy who's very ignorant, has hood tendencies, and is a no good trifling nigga. Okay? She would be interested in that because it keeps her close to her blackness. But y'all, next thing you know, let's jump back into the scene. Janelle, she's over it. Baby girl storms off the stage, right? Y'all, why did Habibi get up, have his saxophone in his hand? I said, sir, why is that in your hand? Why? Because it's not making any sense. Also, Tommy, you should have stopped that man from following her because he has already harassed her once before. This is a second round of harassment. Then for us to see her wrapped in the arms of Herbert. I said, well, now what is going on? Because where is Quentin? If Quentin is your man, where is he? Because why is Herbert back here with you? I'm just trying to figure it out. Now, y'all, Habibi done made his way back onto the stage. And this man decides to start playing that saxophone. I said, you know what? Get him off of my screen right now. Because again, he was playing this entire time. This man did not take this show serious in any way, shape, or form. I just can't do it anymore. Y'all, let's go ahead and move on. So we get to Marvin's segment, right? And of course, it's the montage of all the things that he said and how the ladies have reacted to it. I feel like this wasn't exactly the show for Marvin. Just because most of the ladies were like, ooh, no, I'm not into that. That's taboo. No, no, no. However, I will say that it does open up the door so that way more people will be more honest about what they're into, I feel like. Now, when it comes to Unique, y'all, Unique had a thing for this man, okay? She was intrigued by all the stuff that he was talking about, and it sounded like she still is intrigued by this man. Now, what's crazy to me, though, is the fact that Marvin, he basically played Unique, because I'm never going to forgive him for kissing this girl, taking her on such a sweet date. However, he decided to send her home. Yeah, I'm still giving him a side eye for that, because she was the only one who was actually interested in him for real, for real. But no, he wanted to play around with Kat. And Kat was not going for what he was talking about. Now, keep in mind, you guys, he did not choose this woman. However, Unique has been to one of his shows, and it is clear that she may still have a thing for him, but he got a girlfriend. So, girl, move on. Find you somebody else in that lifestyle. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and slide on over to Tequila, because that is who we are talking about next. For some reason, she had that connection with Habibi, and while they are talking about each other, I'm just so confused, just like the rest of the cast who are watching them say this stuff, because I'm just like, you're calling her the yin to your yang, and then she's talking about how he has a sincere heart. Like, what is happening? So then Tequila decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and attack Feel Right About Now. And I'm just like, girl, where is this coming from? Like, I understand that during the mixer, y'all didn't really hit it off, but y'all just weren't a match. Like, move on. That's one thing about this show. I feel like a lot of the times, people aren't matches earlier in the process, and they be getting their feelings. And it's like, no, just move on accordingly. Move on to the next person. That's just one person out of the 10 possibilities that you have. Where's number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? So she goes on to basically say that no, it wasn't the fact that, when they were talking about threesomes, that's what turned her off about him. It was because he has a broke man energy. And that made her uncomfortable. Filing bankruptcy, that made her uncomfortable. Now, y'all, the fact that they put the camera on Aries, I said, well, girl, is this why you had an issue with this man? Because you was going hard about finances. And he goes on to explain how in 2007, 2008, he was working in real estate, I guess, and he owned a bunch of properties, and we all know that at that time, the housing crisis, it was just a mess, okay? A lot of people lost properties, had to let them go. It was a whole lot happening. I get all that. My whole thing is, that was how many years ago? That was over 10 years ago. That man credit, it should be back up to par, right? Like, his credit should be built back up now. Right, y'all? And if we want to be technical, there are some times where people will file for bankruptcy to kind of help them save and offset some of their assets and all types of stuff like that. So, Tequila, please shut up. Like, you did not need to bring this up. This was none of our business. However, it does give me a little insight. It makes me wonder if this is why Aries was questioning his stability, or is he doing something currently that makes her question his finances and stability? Now, Tequila is on go because she is ready for Jessica and Janelle, okay? She wants all smoke with them, and I'm just like, girl, let that go. Because for some reason, we are trying to rehash what happened in the ladies' lounge when they almost had that huge fight. And according to her, she did not hear what was said about Janelle. And she just felt like they were coming after black men, and she had to stand up for Habibi. That's what I gathered. Now, according to Janelle, she does not know what the issue is, and that just is what it is, I guess. I'm just like, what is happening right now? Again, Tommy, I need for you to ask better questions. Like, you should have been asking Janelle, like, okay, did you feel a way about her saying that the men only like you because of your complexion? Like, let's really dig in here. But also, I'm just kind of wondering, like, was more said and they, like, chopped it down or what? Because this whole little scene and the way that the, what are they called? The rest of the cast were reacting in the background. I'm just like, we not seeing nothing. So why are y'all reacting like this? So y'all, let's slide on backstage real quick because that's where all the drama is happening. So they get off stage and Janelle, I guess she's about to sit down. She's like, oh, look, there's a feather. The only person who's walking around wearing feathers is Tequila. So Tequila is like, yep, that's my feather. It's everywhere. I'm everywhere. Blah, blah, blah. Right? So Janelle just straight up asks her like, girl, you trying to fight me or what's up? And Tequila's response is, I'm already. So these two heifers who are 40 plus are over here trying to have a whole fight. And y'all, that was the episode. Let me know what y'all thought about this reunion part 1. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.